I've got the amazing Claire Davis of Nova Associates on with me this morning. Hi, Claire.
You'll be
I feel
fine.
like this session is going to make me feel actually better. So
Good.
this has been quite timely for
Good.
me and people watching. Now, Claire's going to make this a really interactive show today. So I always say get involved in the comments, but in particular today, she's even going to be getting me involved. So
Yes.
if you're watching, put your comments in, put your questions in, because we will have time to answer them. But also, Claire's going to be asking you to get involved a bit as well. So just as a bit of a heads up. If you're watching this back after the live on YouTube, still get involved in the comments because afterwards Claire and myself can still see them. So it's still worth doing it as
Mm.
well. So today we're talking all about how to think your way to success. And I'm always really interested in stuff like this. So I know this is a big passion and big expertise for you, Claire.
Mhm.
So I'm going to get started because I know we've got a lot to cover. So I thought it'd be good to start because not everybody's familiar with this term. So, what does mental fitness mean?
Yeah, that's a big question and it's something I could talk about forever. So I'm just going to start off with everybody thinking about their minds, because our minds and our thoughts can either be our best friend or they can be our worst enemy.
Mm,
So I want everybody to think about their thoughts for the last, say, 24 hours and think about, were we actually active in our amygdala, which is where our emotions are, and the negative thoughts? If you haven't heard the term amygdala before, and I've heard it pronounced so many different ways, it's quite funny speaking to some people and I think, what are they saying? But it's actually the amygdala.
Do you know I
It's
did a
a,
YouTube video before where I pronounced it wrong, the whole bloody video?
oh, did you?
Amygdala, I called it, and then I put it
Well,
up
no,
and
no,
put it
no.
live and realised it was wrong.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say amygdala, and when I hear that, I go, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? So it's an almond shape, and actually the Greek word for amygdala, it's a Greek word, amygdala, which means almond. That's the only reason why it's called the amygdala. And it goes back to the fight, flight, or freeze. And what happens is, back in the primitive times, we were in the amygdala most of the time because we were fighting for our lives. We're in a lot of fear. But what's happened is, coming to the modern times, people are in the amygdala a lot because we're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And what we need to realize is we need to move from the amygdala, or amygdala, darling, to the prefrontal cortex. And we need to work on that. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen overnight. We need to work on our mental fitness. So I've got a prop
Okay.
here. What do we
Love it.
do? What do we do when we want to build up our biceps and all of our brilliant
Do a
muscles in
lovely
our bodies?
bicep curl.
We do curls. We go to the gym. We do reps, and they're called reps. We all have challenges every day. So Kate, I want to ask you, what challenges have you had? You don't have to tell us personal ones. Just tell us one challenge that you've had in the last 24 hours. A big challenge that you've had.
I think
Uh,
like not feeling well, so not feeling my like I always say like I don't feel like I've got my mojo. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's probably been the biggest
yeah.
challenge.
And that is a challenge a lot of us have. So I'd like if anyone wants to type in the chat, what challenges have you had in the last 24 hours? That would be really, really good to see, because what we want to do is approach these challenges. Challenges are about life. We all have challenges about
Mm,
life. I often have my kids saying to me things like, Mum, this is so hard. It's like, but it's life. And we have to get
yeah,
over them. So we need to approach these challenges in our positive mindset, with our positive muscles in the prefrontal cortex, not in the negative mindset. And it's approaching
yeah.
them completely differently. And my camera just moved there. Did you see that? Isn't that funny? So I've gone low. So I'm going to be really positive about that. So mental fitness is all about working on our mental muscles and working on them every day. Now, we can go to loads and loads of workshops and hear insights. We have to work on our mental muscles. We have to work on our mental muscles. We have to do this. We have to do that. But they're only insights. And it doesn't mean we make changes. So what happens is we need to really work out how to develop these muscles. And there's a fantastic fellow who I work with in the US called Shirzad Sharman. And he's put together a fantastic program called Positive Intelligence. And you might want to look up the website because it's so interesting. And what it is all about is working on your mental muscles. Actually strengthening those mental muscles. What can we do every day to strengthen our mental muscles? And he did this through Stanford University. All his research is through Stanford University. And he researched, I need to read it. He has got the results. I'm going to read this from 500,000 participants in 50 countries of his work at Stanford University. And what it was all about is how do we strengthen these mental muscles? What are our negative muscles, and how do we actually strengthen these mental muscles? So
it's
Kate, you look like you were going to answer a question.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a really good point, because we know, how you've related it there, the physical muscles. So, like I go to the gym a lot, and you think, right, I got to go and do and work that. But when it comes to our mental health, like you say, people can read about it a lot and gain insights, but actually it's forgetting that you've got to actually, practice it and like you say, the reps. That's how things build and improve, isn't it? But we don't get, sometimes there's not the support to do that, is there? Just going to check the comments. I think, thank you, Angela. Angela shared the Positive Intelligence link in the chat. So if anybody is watching, I've been on the website. It's brilliant. So definitely go on. Vanessa's watching as well.
Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Angela.
But I think that's something, when you hear it, it sounds like, oh, why didn't I think of that myself? Of course, you need to do mental fitness and reps and things like that, but it's just something that you don't get told to do enough, is it really?
Yeah. And this work is so powerful because I actually wrote a book a few years ago on emotional fitness and how to get our emotions thinking positively, which is great. All the activities in the book are great. This takes it one step further. It's actually exercising your brain to get that muscle into the prefrontal cortex. And it's so powerful.
We can get caught up in thinking, well, of course I'm exercising my mind. I'm, thinking all day, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and it's busy. But that's not the same, is it? At all.
Oh, no. Exercising your mind's good. Busy. Being positive is good. Yeah. Have you ever woken up at 2 a.m. with all those worries on your mind going round and round and round? I should have said that. I should have said this. I should have said that.
Literally, it happened to me about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so that's a challenge. And in working through this, it's working out how do I get into positive brain instead of that negative thoughts, that negative spiral down. And, a lot of people say to me whenever I interview them or whenever I talk to them, my clients say, I go to the gym, that's fine. What do you do to let off stress? And she said, I go to the gym and I run on the treadmill and run. I went,
that's exactly what I do.
You look stressed, hon. Are you actually letting off stress? And she said her mind was so active with negative thoughts when she was running, and she still had those negative thoughts when she was running. And it's good to do all this exercise and everything. I'm not saying don't do it. What I'm saying is it's a different type of exercise that we have to do for our brain. So that's really good to release stress in our bodies, get rid of a bit of tension. However, we need to really build up our mental muscles, our mental fitness. That brain muscle is so huge. And the work Shirzad has done, I love working with him because he has got proof that the mental brain has actually, the muscle has actually expanded so much in doing the proper PQ reps, they're called, doing these exercises every day, every single day. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go on in a little bit more detail of how our brain actually can causes negative thoughts, because a lot of the time that we don't actually think about how our brain causes us negative thoughts. So are you interested in that, Kate?
I am. Before we go to that, Vanessa's just said, swimming has been great for me to spend time in my own head. So I find that with running, when I run outside, not in the gym, because I find it's more peaceful and I can kind of focus more on my thoughts and being present
Definitely.
on what's around me. Sometimes I go to the gym, think, oh, this will help me unwind. And like you say, it does my body, but my mind is still
can be. And also, so Vanessa, I swim a lot as well. I love that comment. And I walk a lot. And I actually do these PQ reps while I'm swimming and walking. And it's actually really strengthened my brain in doing that. Because before I used to walk and, you know, I'm in my own head, or I used to swim, I'm in my own head, but I'd still come out, like you said, Kate, with those thoughts swirling in my head. Whereas this really clears your brain, gets that positivity through, which is so, so powerful. So
let's go to the next question then. So, what are the things that, you know, we've talked this title is how to think your way to success, but I think it's important to cover what does the opposite, like what makes us think our way not to success, because we need to really watch out for that, don't we?
Well, we're humans, Kate, and we all think our way to not success. And what I love about the work with Shirzad is he thinks his way to not success, except he goes into the positive brain. We all have a judge. We all have a judge, and then we have 9 saboteurs. And this is the not success. These are those little niggly voices in our heads that say you can't do this, you can't do that, wakes you up at 2 o'clock in the morning, makes you feel paranoid. So I'm going to talk about our 3 judges because that's the most powerful. So the first judge is called a self-judge, where we are judging ourselves. So that's the example I gave earlier. You wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, why did you say that? That was ridiculous. That client will never like you anymore. That was the most stupid proposal you've ever seen. You made mistakes in it. You did this, you did that. So in the chat, I want everybody to put a yes, that's me, or just a yes, if you've ever had those.
I do that.
Yeah, we all do it. That's that judge. And the thing is, what we want to do is these mental exercises to clear that judge or quieten the judge. The judge is always there. That self-judge is always there. Then we've got a second judge called the judge of others, where we go, that person's too tall, that person's too short, that person's not good enough, that person says too much, that person doesn't look as good as me, that person looks better than me. So it's where we are judging others. So put oh my goodness, or oh no, in the chat if you feel that we have judging others. A lot of us do judge others, and this is something a lot of us compare. It's called comparisons. So do we have anything coming up in the judge?
We've got one, yes. I can't see, and don't know why it does this sometimes, just as LinkedIn user, so I'm really sorry, I can't see who you are.
Oh, bless.
I think it was a yes to the second one. It looks like it came in around the same time. Okay. So we have got one yes in the chat, yeah.
Okay, so you're probably all just thinking about this. The third one is the one that I found so interesting because I wasn't aware of this, and that's called judging circumstances. So it's a situation where we are judge. I'm not going to be happy until I do that deal. I'm not going to be happy until I get that commission, until I go on that holiday, until I get that bigger car, until I get this, I get this, I get this, I get that. However, once they achieve more and more and more, do they actually get happiness? And this is why positive intelligence and working on our mental fitness is so powerful. Because so often we think, especially with the circumstances, we're going to be happier once we move to that bigger house, once we do this, once we do that, and then we're still looking for the next thing. So put up O in the chat if you can see yourself with the judging of circumstances.
I do this sometimes, definitely.
A lot of us do. Yeah. I think it's actually something of the 21st century. You know, it's a case where that's the way we were programmed, that we have to do better and better and better. And we're not content on being in the present. So that's the big overall way that we think our way is to not success, because we've got this judge voice nagging us all the time, and it's loud. So in doing these exercises every day, we quieten down the judge. But the judge, unfortunately, has got 9 really good friends, and they are called saboteurs. And what they do is they work with the judge to put you down even more. And they are loud. They can be really loud. So I'm not going to go through all 9, but I'm going to talk about my top 3, because a lot of people have been surprised in how they can be negative. And it's amazing the deep work that we do on this. So the first one's hyperachiever. So a lot of us as
Yeah, I remember
recruiters are
this was one
hyperachievers.
of my top ones.
And it's a case where we want to achieve more and more and more, which is great. And often we get the question of, but this is how I've got to where I am. This is why I'm the best biller. This is why I'm the CEO of the best company. Great. Is it making you happy? And are you breaking down relationships? And are you actually performing to your best in being? There's nothing wrong with being a achiever, but taking it to the next level and being a hyperachiever is of detriment to our mental fitness because it plays with our thoughts. It's that word hyper. The second one of mine is restless, which is a big one because we're doing so many things at once. We're doing so many different things, multitasking, and we want to do more and more and more. And we, oh my goodness, I should be reading this one. Oh no, I should be doing this. Oh no, I should be doing the cold calling. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And we're not focusing and actually doing anything to the best of our abilities. So that can be a detriment to our performance and to building relationships and for our well-being and our mental fitness as well. And the third one of mine is, and a lot of people get surprised at this one because they say, but isn't it great to be this? And it's a pleaser. However, is it a detriment to our relationships because we are giving so much, and the pleaser has a really big problem with judging themselves and judging others. And it's a case where giving so much, we can often expect a lot in return. And that can be of detriment to our mental health and building those relationships and breaking down those relationships.
Because with a lot of these, really, it's your strengths overplayed, isn't it? Because,
exactly.
And that is what you've got to watch. And I know with the hyperachiever one, I've always been like that, and it's one of those things where, like you say, somebody could be like, oh, it's good that you like that, but it's not when it's overdone, isn't it?
You've hit the nail on the head, Kate. It's the overplayed. That's why it's called hyper, and that's when they become of detriment to our mental health. So what we do with the exercise of positive intelligence and the coaching and the program is we bring out the best in those. We bring out the best in all the saboteurs, and we use them in what is called sage mode. So that is the prefrontal cortex mode, the positive mode, the calm mode. So we're not waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning, worried about this, worried about that, etc.
Yeah. I love that they call it sage mode. It just, the word sage, because I just think of the plant. It's a herb, isn't it? Not a plant. What am I on about? Yeah, it just makes me think, and that smell, because I love the smell of it as well. It just feels so calm and positive. Okay, so that's really interesting. So, well, first of all, if you're watching and you want to know there's a full 9, you can go on the website, but you can also reach out to Claire.
Yeah.
Because this is her bag and she can talk to you about it. But I wanted to come to the next question because this is something that people can go away with, isn't it? What strategies can we use to put this into practice, to start thinking our way to success and working flexing the right muscles mentally?
Yeah. And this is where you need to work on it. We need to work on this every day. I work on my positive intelligence every day. I go on to Shirzad's app that, I coach on, and I do the exercises every single day. And it's training your brain every single day, because what can happen is I'm giving you insights here. You can go away and say, that was great. That was interesting. I'll look up the website. I'll do this. But it's actually, I love your question there, Kate. Put this into practice. It's like going to the gym. Yeah, I've just watched another great Les Mills video. Yeah, well, my son, I've got the heavier one. My son took the lighter one, so I had to find the heavier one. But, I can watch another Les Mills video. Yeah, I can talk about doing my dumbbells. I know I've got to do those dumbbells and that Pilates and all of this and all of that. But unless we put it into practice, and that is the key of putting it into practice, because we all have our judge niggling at us. We all have that judge that's amplified. Every single person does, but it's how do I quieten down that judge and work in the sage mode a lot more. So I'm going to actually go through an exercise, because these are really powerful exercises, and he's got hundreds and thousands of these exercises, but I think it might be nice to go through one of these exercises.
Yeah, let's do it.
And work it out. So I want you to all put in the chat, yes, if you are a multitasker. Are you a multitasker, Kate?
Yeah.
Part of it.
Got 2 computer screens. I'm doing lots of different things at once.
Yeah. Well, guess what multitasking is equivalent to from Shirzad's research? Guess what it's equivalent to? Drinking 2 large glasses of wine. It gives you the same feeling. Yes. It's like you are drunk. And it is a case
we've got some yeses coming through.
Yeah. And being restless, I'm a multitasker, and I've had to quieten down my brain, and it's not healthy for our mental health. So we're going to do a contemplation, not a visualization, a contemplation. And I'll explain what the contemplation is while we're doing it, if you've never heard of a contemplation before on multitasking. So I'd like everybody, I've got to read this out, so you're going to have your eyes closed so you won't see me reading. So I'd like everybody to close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, and put your hands down so that you are comfortable. We're going to do a contemplation exercise on multitasking. Many of us multitask in this modern day and age. A contemplation is different to a visualization. A contemplation is the act of deeply thinking about, reflecting on, or considering something. It involves a state of thoughtful concentration, often with the aim of gaining insight, understanding, or clarity about a particular idea, concept, or situation. Multitasking is a huge trait of the restless saboteur, and everyone has an element of the restless saboteur in them. In today's world, we're programmed to multitask, and it's often conveyed that if we are multitasking, we are more efficient. And I've already mentioned the research. It's impaired as drinking 1 to 2 glasses of wine. So Dr. Clifford Nass from Stanford University quotes, "It turns out multitaskers are terrible at every aspect of multitasking. They're terrible at ignoring relevant information. They're terrible at getting organized, and they're terrible at switching from one task to another." It's an interesting quote. Multitasking is very inefficient use of our brain's resources. Multitasking is a lie of the restless, that it is good, but actually it's inefficient. So these are the questions that I would like you to contemplate. Think of a time when you have multitasked recently. Just think of it. How did you feel? What if you brought those tasks into the positive brain, so the sage brain? What would you have actually done? How would you have actually progressed to complete those tasks? And how did you feel when you were in more of the positive brain? So I'm going to just give you some examples with your eyes closed of a couple of PQ reps you can do. So I want you to take a deep breath in and out, and in and out. And now I'd like you to listen to the furthest sound away that you can hear. Listen to the details of the pitch, the volume, what noises it's making. Now I would like you to listen to the closest sound you can hear. Listen to the pitch, the volume. Now I'd like you to take another deep breath in and listen to your breath going in. And now listen to your breath going out. Open your eyes when you are ready.
Oh, I feel nice and relaxed now.
Yeah. Okay. Any comments about those questions that I asked about Kate? You can put comments in the chat, but I'm interested to hear from you, Kate, because you said I'm a huge multitasker, as in yourself.
Yeah, so this literally happened in the last week. I booked an appointment with my sports therapist while I was like rushing around and doing other things. So you book them online. Turned up for the appointment yesterday, and I booked it for next week mistakenly, and I can't go next week
No.
because I wasn't concentrating really. So
Brain
that, and
example.
then while I was booking it, I felt stressed anyway because I was like trying to do. I think I was swimming with my nieces and my sister, not in the pool with my phone, but like trying to multitask.
Yeah.
It wasn't enjoyable booking it because
Yeah.
I was not concentrating and stressed, and then obviously it wasn't enjoyable turning up yesterday and
And what
realizing
a
I hadn't got
waste
an
of
appointment.
time. And what a waste of
Waste of
time
time,
turning up
completely
yesterday.
a waste of time.
And
So
what
I
was the
wasn't
knock on of
present with
that?
my nieces, so
Yep.
that was a waste of time. And then I wasn't available now I've got to wait 2 weeks
Yeah.
to go and get my
Oh,
shoulder sorted
bless
out. So
you.
actually, it's been a massive detriment to me
And caused you
doing
more
it in the first
stress.
place.
And caused you more
Yeah,
stress.
and
Caused you more
wasted
stress.
time.
Yeah. So are there any other comments in the chat of how people felt?
There
That's
are.
really interesting.
I'm going to come back to them.
Brilliant.
So let's have a look at the comments we had come in. Yeah, so Vanessa, I do this as well. So write an email as you're listening to something else or
Yeah.
somebody, or yeah, I do that all the time. What else have we got coming through? Oh, there we go. Vanessa again. Can I hire you to do that with me every hour on the hour? I wouldn't mind that as well. I feel much better
We'll
after
talk
that.
about it,
Way better.
ladies. We will talk about it.
Yeah. But I want to come to your top tip because I think this summarizes what we've spoken
Mm,
about very, very well
mm. Yeah,
about
and it's
working on it every
every
day.
single day. Every single day. And that's why I love the work of Shazad, because Shazad originally wrote his book, which I know you've listened to on audio, and I have as
Yeah, it
well.
was a
And it
brilliant
gives
book.
insights. But what he found from the insights was that people weren't then putting it into practice. It would come back to them 2 or 3 months later, and they said, yeah, it was great insights, but I'm not doing it. I'm not feeling any better. And that's why I love this. We need to be working on our positivity. I know you love my dumbbells, so I'll show you one more time.
I am loving those
Every
dumbbells.
single day. Like, if we want to get those muscles there, we need to work on this every single day. So we do need to prioritize this. It doesn't
It
take
doesn't
long.
take that long,
It
as
doesn't
you've
take
just
long.
demonstrated. That took us what,
So
a few minutes?
it doesn't even need to take that. So I've
Not
been
even
in a
that.
meeting. I've been in about to present. I'll give you an example. I've been about to present and talk, and I've done PQ reps because I was nervous. I've had the best talk. I've relaxed. You can do it in the middle of the meeting if you're feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So actually that's a good point. So I want to encourage you all because we're just coming to the end of the show. Claire is down as a speaker on the LinkedIn event. So if you haven't already, please do connect with her. She's also on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle again, Claire?
Mental health chats, that might be changing, or mental health for managers. Yeah, mental health for managers, so that
Yeah.
might be changing. Yeah.
If you follow me on Instagram, I will share something of Claire's Instagram so you can find her easily and you can follow
Thank
her.
you.
But if you go onto the website for Positive Intelligence, the book is really good. I've read it, so I'm not just saying that. I've listened to it on audiobook, so you can listen to it or you can read it. But I will encourage you to just reach out to Claire because she's your go-to, and to definitely reach out and find out more about it because there's so many benefits to it. But that, I can't believe we're already at 1 o'clock, so that brings us to the end. Anyone watching, thank you so much. Any other comments and questions you've got, chuck them in the chat and we will come to answer them. But I will see you. I keep having to look down because I keep forgetting it's March in 2 weeks. I will see you on the 6th of March in a couple of weeks. Take care, everybody. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. That was wonderful.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
you for coming on. See you all soon.